Do you have the rest? You do.
I'd be right. We don't have Jane. She doesn't look at her phone. So I'll have to like, take. Don't steal my pen.
I'm not touching your pen.
Okay. Because Juanita gave it to me and she said it was a special pen. I said, oh, that's so nice. Mine went work this morning. It's even brand new. I can take the little wax ball off the end of it.
Wow.
I know.
You are
right?
special.
All right, let me take this off. All right, good morning, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. I do want to remind you we are recording. Okay, so if we can kind of keep down the chatter a little bit, it helps so the virtual people can hear. To get started this morning, we're going to welcome back Jennifer to do the pledge.
You did so well yesterday.
Yep, Tuesday. Did it yesterday.
Yeah, I did it yesterday too, but yesterday. Okay, if you guys notice too that we've moved the flag to the appropriate side. Okay, so please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, let her that. All right, I'm going to try and step back a little bit here. Apparently I was kind of loud in the microphone for the virtual people last time, so I will try and kind of keep it down just a tad. Well, we hear you guys had a good day yesterday. We welcome you back today for the last half of the State Board of Accounts portion of it. Again, like I said, we are recording it for later viewing. All right. And if anybody virtual has any issues, please use the chat box. I do want to remind you to select everyone, because if you just send it to me or what looks like me, it is this computer that we're using currently, which means the person who is watching the chats, Lori, over here cannot see it. So please make sure to select everyone for any questions that come through. Okay. I think we're going to have some fun today. I'm just going to say that. We're going to learn some stuff. We want to kind of get a little interactive today. We've got Secretary of State coming later this morning. Actually, the Secretary of State is going to do virtual, but Rebecca Longfellow will be here to talk about some notary things. Okay. But we're going to start with your favorite thing. Just favorite. I just know it's your favorite. All right, let's see if we can get this thing here. Yeah. Did you get the registration sheets out of there? I just totally forgot those. Okay, hold on one sec. Thank you. Virtual says they can't hear because of the mic is muted. So hold on one sec. Let me unshare. It doesn't say I'm muted. All right, let me try again here. Somebody says they can hear me. All right, chat, I'm looking at it here. Can you, if you are virtual, can you hear me, and can you hear me okay? Too loud? Not loud enough? Okay, I'm getting a thumbs up, so, all right. Sounds good. Yay. All right, now let's try it again. Maybe. Can I get rid of my picture? Because I really don't want to see me. change, don't mirror my video. What's that mean? I don't know. Okay, can you guys see the presentation slide as of now? You can't see my notes. I think you can, I don't have any notes. Honestly, with this presentation, I've given it like so many times, I don't really have very many notes. Okay, again, we're gonna start with gateway uploads. I know that it's your favorite. Come on, everybody likes it, it's fun. It is important. I know that it's an extra step in things that you do. But it is important for the audit team. It is with the change, with COVID, with everything that has happened. Like Paul kind of said yesterday, we were already kind of shifted a little bit that way. We were ready. So when we had to work remotely, it made it an easier transition for us. So Gateway kind of enables us to get in and look at things without having to be on site. So it's really a great tool for us to at least get started on stuff, because there are things that we can do as an audit team and we don't need to be on site with you. Things that, quick things that need to be done without bugging you, because let's be honest, how many times has a field examiner walked in and asked you to do something and you've been extremely busy or you just didn't have time for it? And we know that. We know that your job is to be the recorder. And so while we are there to audit and we are there to work with you, this does kind of help that process a little bit. Feel like I'm too close to the camera. All right. So we, back in 2018, and this is before I got into this position, is when we started doing Gateway uploads. At the time when this came out, Gateway we were trying to think of kind of generic terms of things that was across the board for everybody to put in there. So we put together what we thought we might need at the time. But you got to remember, we weren't using it the way that we are now. Okay, we were just in that starting process. So, we get using them. COVID hits. We're relying on them even more. Our field staff said, you know what? There's some other stuff we could probably use on here. And then we start looking at it and think we could probably narrow this down to be a little bit more precise in what we're asking for. So, as an agency, we actually all work together to kind of come up with what we thought needed to be up there. And so in 2020, I don't even remember when the date was now. Was it even on here? November. So in November is when we finally released the updated, amended directive. Okay. And we sent that out to everybody. Some had drastic changes, some did not. But we wanted to kind of go over some of those new changes that occurred, and just so that everybody is aware. Let me ask you this real quickly. Is everybody aware that it changed in November? Gold stars for everyone. Okay. So in the beginning, for recorders, you had 2 monthly requirements. You were to put your monthly bank reconcilement and your cash balance report. And then annually, you would upload your end of the year bank statement. Now, if you didn't have a bank account, and even if you don't have a bank account now, you don't have to do this. So you can sit back, take a nap for the rest of this conversation. But those of you that do, these were the requirements. What changed in the directive for you was, well, monthly, pretty much. So now instead of uploading your bank reconcilement or your bank statements, sorry, annually, you're going to do those monthly, okay? You're going to do those along with your bank reconcilement and your outstanding checklist, all right? Now, this can be done in a couple different ways. You can upload them all together as one document, or you can upload them separately. It's really however it works for you, okay? So if you make it all one document in your own, it's just easier to scan it in and upload it that way, that's fine. We'll take it however we can get it, okay? The other thing that changed is we've said cash balance report. Well, that's been confusing. What's a cash balance report? In our minds, it's the ledger. It's so we thought, well, okay, let's go back to basics. We talked about that on Tuesday. We prescribed the forms. What form, if you were doing a manual ledger, what form would we want to see? And that would be your Form 3, which would be your recorder's fee and cash book. Okay. So now, instead of just doing the two monthly uploads, and one annually, you're just going to do 4 monthly. You have no annual ones anymore. Okay. So we just kind of flushed that out a little bit. Okay, so we're going to kind of go through them just a little bit so you kind of know what we're talking about here. So a bank reconcilement. I'm sure you all are doing bank reconcilements monthly, right? Everybody's reconciled, right? Oh, we are required. I love that. I don't know who said it, but yes. Yes, you are. Okay, so again, the bank reconcilement is a document that shows what the bank has compared to what you say you have on your ledger, and it's the reconcilement of the differences in between. Okay, so if you do that in an Excel spreadsheet, if you have a software that, kind of helps lead you through the process, it could be different formats. We just want to see that your ledger comes back to that bank statement amount. Okay. Okay. So again, you're going to take your bank ledger, your bank to the ledger. You're going to account for all your deposits, all of your checks. You also want to identify any variances. We talked about this on Tuesday as well. If you can identify it, you're reconciled. When you can't identify something, that's when you're not reconciled, right? So you have interest on your bank statement that you haven't put on the ledger. That's a reconciling item, okay? So when you're doing that, just think about that. Think about your interest. Think about your bank fees, NSF fees, bank errors, posting errors. We're all human. Sometimes we, transpose numbers and things like that. So take all of those kinds of things into consideration. I do want to include, though, when you're doing this, it does need to include, if you are taking in prepaids, your subsidiary ledger. Okay, that all needs to be included. It shouldn't be just put over here and we're not looking at that either. It's part of what you're carrying. Okay, and we want to see that you are accounting for that money and you are reconciling that money. Okay. Okay. Bank statements. We all know what those are, right? We get those at home or online. So what we're wanting to do is at the end of the month, when you get your bank statement, we want you to go ahead and upload that as well. This will also include the copies of any checks. So for you guys, the only checks that you should be writing should be to the county when you're turning over your report of collections, right? So include all of those, all the pages. At least you guys don't have a ton. Outstanding checklist. Okay. Outstanding check is a check that you have written that has not cleared the bank. All right. So you should be keeping a list of those so that when you're doing your reconciling and you are, adding or subtracting outstanding checks from your bank, I should be able to see that number, and then I should be able to see the listing of the checks that make up that number. All right. That's what we're looking for. And honestly, even though we don't say it, if you've got let's say you had multiple deposits in transit where you deposited the money, you've got it on your ledger, but it hadn't hit the bank yet, it wouldn't hurt to include that as well. Any documentation you have on your variances, if you want to upload those, would be awesome. Okay. All right. So it's come, we started talking about cash balance report. And so I said, we kind of clarified this. We're talking about the Form 3, what would be your recorder's fee and cash book. So again, this is the official prescribed form. We understand that you guys do use a software. Okay. But this is what we're looking for. We are looking for a record of all receipts, all disbursements, and all balances. Okay. So at any given time, you should be able to know how much money you're holding on your ledger. Okay. At the end of the month, you should also have a total of all receipts that you collected for the month, and you should have a total of the disbursements for the month. Okay. That is what the fee and cash book would look like. I've got that again on the next slide. I do want to emphasize your report of collections is not the fee and cash book. It is not your ledger. All right. I have a feeling this is going to kind of be a hot topic, which is why we want to talk about it. So I put this in here so that you could see it again. But again, if you pull this up and you look at it, and it's in the manual. So if you go up to the recorder's manual, you will see this form inside there. Sorry, I think I'm cutting off my head. This key, like I said, has lines for anything that you are receiving in, anything that you are dispersing. It has the monthly totals at the bottom. It keeps a running balance so that you know what you have at any given time. All right. Report of collections. A report of collections function is to transfer the custody of cash. All right. So when you are taking that down to the auditor's office to get the receipting process started, and again, we're not talking about that. But when you do that, you take that report so that they can see this is how much money you are giving them. It's a report of what you're turning in. You've signed it. You're giving them the cash. Or not, you're not giving them cash. Sorry. I guess I should back up there. Not giving them the cash. You're showing them the report of collection so they can start that application to pay. The treasurer's office is going to count what you have to take that in. They're going to verify that those agree. All right. That is what the report of collections is used for. Now, you should be reconciling. When you're reconciling your ledger to your bank, and you should be reconciling your collections, your report of collections should agree to your ledger, but it's not your ledger. Maybe. Oh, I forgot I put a little arrow. Did you see it? It's been a little while since I did this one. I forgot. I like when I do stuff like that. I try not to make it too crazy, just a little bit. All right. I want to go back to that. Okay. So I know that we have had quite a few emails on this and not knowing what report to use. So I kind of want to open it up for a moment to see if we have any questions between the ledger and the report of collections. You guys all know, and y'all are. Oh, I like this. I even wore shorter heels today, thinking maybe I'd have to run around. But I want you to ask me the questions that you guys think, because we got quite a few emails on this when it went back. When it went out, everybody who was uploading their report of collections and we're not seeing ledgers were like, well, wait a minute, this report of collections is my ledger, but it's not.
Hi, I'm Lois from County, and my fee and cash book only is for one day. It doesn't give a cumulative for the month.
Okay, that's a good question. I like it. So we do know that some softwares maybe don't have that total for the month or day. There have been a few that have actually, when you write your check, it's like the disbursements go away and you don't see them. This is something you're going to need to get with your vendor on. Those should be there. Like I said on Tuesday, sorry, you guys give me a day in between and it really messes me up. But you need to get with them, and we need to be able to see every transaction that's happened on your ledger. That's what the ledger is. Every in, every out. You shouldn't go to print a report and you're missing half your transactions. Okay. So you guys work with these software vendors. You contract with them to provide a service for you. It needs to mirror what the actual prescribed form is. Okay. Oh, you guys are never shy or quiet.
Hi, Ella Builder by Clipwood County. So would it be safe to say that if I haven't heard from you that I am doing this correctly?
I would love to say that. She hasn't heard anything. So she asked, if you haven't heard anything, does it mean you're doing it correctly? Unfortunately, no.
Oh.
Unfortunately, no.
So how do I make sure that I am doing it right?
Okay, so you could send Lori and I, have us take a look at it, and we can tell you whether or not it's the report we are looking for. When the audit team comes up, you guys are a department of the county. Unfortunately, we do not audit all departments every time we come in to do an audit. We just don't have the time to do that. So when you do have a field examiner who's auditing you at the time, they may tell you as well. But if you are questioning what you are uploading, email us. I'll be more than happy to take a look at it, and so would Lori.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
You said we could load them up as one document or however we want to. So I know that there's a place to put my reconcilement, and then there's also a place to put my bank statement and my fee and cash. Can you separate that out? Because now I have to print all that out and then I have to rescan it to have it become one document.
You
put
don't
it
have
back
to
in.
do it as one document.
Well, but I can't separate the bank statement from the fee and cash book. It doesn't give me that option when I do the drop down box.
I gotta think here.
Because it only gives me two places to upload, two
Two
choices.
places. It does do bank statement and then cash.
Yeah, so
balance.
if I could have that, do a reconcilement, cash book, and bank statement, all three separate, then I wouldn't have to print them off, scan them, and make the two one document to put into your system.
Okay, well, you could leave them separate. You don't have to put them together, and you can put multiple under like cash balance report, for example. You should only have one. But like, let's say you had two reports that you wanted to put under bank. Let's do bank statement instead. You can put two different ones using that. It's not limited to just one upload per the drop down box.
Okay.
Does that make sense? No, it will not
It
delete
won't
out.
delete out? Okay, because see, that's
No.
where I was confused because on the little tabby thing, it only gives you like
Be
three
honest,
things.
and the only reason I hesitate to do that is that we do not run that. We actually have to work with somebody else, and to
Okay.
make any changes like that actually take considerable amount of time, surprisingly.
So if I upload my bank statement and then tell it to save it, and then I upload my fee and cash, it's going to save all of that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely. That's what I
Cool.
mean. Yeah, you don't have to. No,
Okay,
don't do
thank
the
you.
extra step if you don't have to.
Well, that's kind of what I was hoping not to have to do. Thank you.
You do yours separately as well.
Okay, thanks. Okay, this is probably for Lori. You and I had the conversation about how CSI did come up with a way to print off for the entire month, but they're per day. So I have a way to load this up, but there's so many pages. So we talked about how I could just give you the last day of the month, which has the cumulative total for the month, but then you're not going to see every line item for the entire month unless you ask for it. I just have to have it available. Is that still correct?
That is correct. Okay. There was a chat, and I can't get to it. Okay. Should you go back and redo? Start forward. If you can do this year, I would go back and do for this year, but don't go way back. Okay. And these changes did not take effect until December. December was the first month that you were required to do these changes. Is that the only question? Okay. Sorry, it just popped up on my screen. Anybody else? One sec. No.
Hi, this is Kim from Jasper, new to the office. And I was just wondering if we haven't done this, do we need to go back since December and put those
And
documents
start
on?
putting them in there. Like I said, if you could start with January at least for this year, since we're in April, and put those in there, that will be okay. All right. We'll kind of get into some of this other stuff here in a few, but I had somebody over there. Let me get you a microphone. So the virtual people cannot hear the questions unless you speak into the microphone. I did not say that on Tuesday.
Pat Brooks, Warwick County. Evidently, I have not been doing it right since January or since whenever, but I had not heard anything that it was incorrect. It's, always accepted when we send our report of collections, our bank statement and balance, but we do not use Form 3. So,
Do you use a software?
yes.
Okay, so you need to figure out what report in your software takes the place of that Form 3.
Okay. All right. I'll
Okay.
check into it. Thank you.
Okay. And when you guys upload on here, there's not an approval thing. So there's nothing that you don't have to sign off that you actually put anything on there. We don't look at everyone. Do you know how many I'd have to look at that we put up, that get put up? So when you put it up there, unless, the field looks at it and tells you it's wrong, we are trying to figure out a way to get notifications out. But you have to understand there are multiple departments for a county that have to upload. 92 counties to be exact, and then all the departments within. So it's really hard. We just don't have enough manpower to go through each and every upload to make sure that everybody's got what they need. So we rely heavily on the field. What do you mean? To find the Form 3, okay. So if you were going to use the manual Form 3, you can see a sample of it on our website in our manual. So in the recorder's manual, but if you actually want it, you need to ask the print vendor.
Am I not correct in saying that the fee and cash book in CSI, which is my vendor, and the fee and cash book in Fiddler, State Board of Accounts has approved those forms to be used? Am I not correct in that?
I can't answer that one. Do you know? I mean, we don't approve the softwares, so and then if they change, so
In your county, they would not have been approved as a system,
thank you.
but they might have been approved within your county for use. But it would be county by county.
Because if you really believe it, sometimes these reports are different. Same software, different counties, different reports.
And they're
Depends on what you ask for.
different.
So I saw we got one right up here.
On the gateway, though, it does check mark the report that
So
you've
the check
uploaded.
mark just means that you uploaded something in that
Okay.
spot. That is all that actually means. It's so that you can take a quick look. And if you see red X's, oh, I didn't upload anything that month. That's really all that's used for. And it might expand as time goes on, but like I said, between counties, and we have cities and towns, and we have townships, and they all are uploading stuff. So we're trying to make something that works across the board. Anybody else? What? I heard it saw never mind. They have this form from CSI. Okay. Anybody else? I don't know if she's going to ask. Okay. All right. Is that it? Oh, we got one back here. Right back here.
The 2 questions ago, when whoever asked Lori said, I talked to you, I didn't understand the question because CSI, we used to be able to print a daily fee and cash, and then they made it possible to print the monthly. So I was a little confused. Are you saying we don't need to send the whole month?
Okay. So if you have a monthly report and you can upload it, go ahead. I mean,
Okay.
that's fine. If you've got something like yours, you don't have a monthly report in yours. Is that what you were saying? Okay, so her monthly prints out by day, which makes her file a lot bigger. Okay, so if you have a monthly report, and really, I mean, we don't necessarily need down to the detail for the upload. So it could just be like a summary report for the month as well. That would be fine. If we need the detail, we got a way to ask you for that, and I'll get to that here in a minute. Anybody else? Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty good. I like questions. Okay. So we talked about what needs to be uploaded, all of that. Have any of you guys received a direct request? Does anybody here know what a direct request is? Okay. You don't count. I'm sorry. Okay. So when we went to this remote auditing, right, because of COVID, and I keep calling it stupid COVID because it is, right? It is. It's just been a pain the whole year, right? Especially when you have children in school. It's a lot. We realize that we're asking you guys to upload stuff monthly, and some people do annual. You obviously don't have to do that anymore. But that isn't necessarily all the information we need from you. Sometimes we need additional information when we come in to do the audit. But like you guys are recorders, so we don't necessarily audit you every single time that we come in to do the county audit. So to ask you to upload all of these things is a bit much. So we worked together, we brainstormed, and we came up with the direct request. So when we're in doing the audit, if your department, the recorder's office, gets selected to be part of the audit as one of those departments, and they come in to do it, and they need additional information from you, this is how they're going to do it. Okay. So this would be for anything in addition to what you are required to upload. All right. When they do this, they go in and they submit, they have a requesting submission on their side, and you will get an email that tells you, hey, we need this report. This is kind of important because if you are the recorder, you are the submitter. You are the only one for your office that is allowed to be the submitter. Okay? You are the elected official. It is your responsibility to be the submitter. Now, you can delegate the upload responsibilities to somebody in your office. I don't know if anybody has done that here. Has anybody delegated to somebody else? Okay. So you fill out a form and you submit it to Gateway. They give them access. They have a different access. Okay. But they're not the submitter. And why that's important for you guys, there isn't really a submission, but that is important for some other offices. But we call you guys the submitter because that is where the email goes. So if you have delegated it to somebody in your office and we come in to do the audit and we're going to request additional documentation and we do that, that email is going to go to the recorder, not the person you delegated to upload. Does that make sense? Everybody understand? So you'll need to kind of pay attention to that. Now, we're not saying that because you got the email, you're the one that's required to upload it. If you've delegated it, it's fine, but you're going to be the one that's notified because you're the elected official. I don't know that. Okay. So here is, yeah, hopefully you can see that. This is an example of what that direct request email looks like. All right. It's very generic. You don't respond to this email. Okay. This email doesn't go anywhere. So, I mean, you can respond to it. I have no idea where it ends up and nobody reads it. So don't. I will say on there, please do not respond to this email, but you do need to reach out to your FEs, the field staff that are there doing the audit. Let them know, hey, I got this. All right, I got this email. I'll work on getting this to you. We understand you have other things to do. We understand that when we come in there, you might be in the middle of something and you just can't drop everything to get us what we want. So when you email them that, hey, I received that request, I can get it to you, maybe give them a time frame. I can get it to you by Monday, or I can have it to you in an hour. Whatever it is, just communicate with them. Okay. That is the biggest key, especially with this remote auditing where they are offsite. I know we are starting to transition back a little bit. I think that's going to look a little bit different per unit and on the needs. But when we're not on site, that communication is so important. Okay. They need to know that you got the email. They need to know that you're working on it. If you have questions about it, ask them. That's, make sure you have that. If whatever they're asking, and I can't imagine for you guys, but just in case, well, maybe it'd be that big document, that day-to-day transaction thing she was talking about. And they want that for the whole year. And you think, because there is a size limit on Gateway of what you can upload. And you think, I don't know that I can do that. When you email them, make arrangements on how they're going to get it. Is it something that they're going to have to come in and get it? It's just too big and it'd be easier for them to come in and look at it. Or maybe they can talk you through how to break it into little segments and get it uploaded, but they will work with you to get that information. Oh, we got another question. I don't know where the microphones went. Oh, she's right over here. I hate pointing at people, so don't take it.
Okay, I know that's not going to apply to very many people. Those of us that don't have a bank account, if you were needing additional documents, do you coordinate that through the auditor's office?
Well, we probably wouldn't do it through the auditor's office, but they would email you directly or come talk to you directly because you don't even have a login to Gateway, I'm going to assume.
Nope.
Yeah. So they'll do that directly. You're one of those, like, I'm just going to sit back and drink my coffee this morning because this does not apply to me. Right. If you do not have a bank account and you are turning your money over every single day, there's no need because all your money is already on the county ledger. I don't know. I don't know. I think for the smaller ones, it's a lot easier. I think if you are a bigger one and you're taking in quite a bit of money, the timing of trying to get it down there, or it could be problematic at times. But either way is acceptable. Thought I saw a hand, but maybe I didn't. Okay. Oh wait. How is the office not required to have a bank account? Is that what it said? Oh, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't know that I can see the chat here. Hold on one second, guys. Okay. I think the question was, how is an office not required to have a bank account? And actually, the recorders, for you guys to have a bank account, you would really kind of need to get approval from the council and say, hey, can I have a bank account? That's what we tell any other department. Make sure that they are aware that you've got one sitting out there, but it is not something that is required. Makes me kind of nervous that maybe there's more questions and I don't have them. So if you are virtual, if you can, make sure that the 2 box says everyone, because when I'm in presenter mode, I can't switch to the chats. I can catch a quick glimpse of them, but that's it. Okay. All right. So I wanted to put this slide on. This is our user guide. Has anybody ever went to the user guide? There was another thing there, but hopefully. Did you get another one? Is Form 3 no longer needed to be printed because everything is put into Gateway? If you have it in a software, you do not have to print out forms if you've got it on a software, as long as you have it. Now, if you have it in software form only, you need to have a backup. I'm just going to tell you so that you don't, you got to be able to access it at any point, but you wouldn't necessarily have to print it.
If we save it to a file, I'm down here, then we're fine. We don't need to print it.
Right.
That would be considered a backup. If
As long as you can still get it into your, as long as you can still get it from your software and then you've got a file. I would suggest that they not be like on the same server or anything like that, because if that server gets compromised, not only does it take out your software, it takes out your backup.
Okay.
So I would keep them in separate locations,
Okay.
whether it's on a USB stick or an extra hard drive someplace, something like that. I got something else that popped up on my screen and I can't see it. Okay. So if I missed your questions, virtual people, I'm sorry. I will try to get to them at time. So the user guide, we always point this out because if you have any questions about the upload process, this is a step-by-step walk you through guide on how to do your uploads. All of this stuff I've pulled out of there, copied and pasted on purpose because I want people to see that this user guide really does answer pretty much most of your questions. It goes into detail what the uploads are required, what each upload is, and then it does a step-by-step process in how to go about doing it. It is a wonderful tool, and if anybody calls about a Gateway question, that's the first place we go to if we don't know it off the top of our head. Yes. Make sure that you don't close it until everything's cleared. But yes. Wow, you know what's going to happen. All the recorders are going to close their bank account, and then we're going to be like, nobody's doing Gateway uploads anymore. And then Lori and I will be responsible to call each and every one of you to verify that you no longer have a bank account. Okay. Okay. So while we were talking about the audits, I think I've shown you guys this before, but this question comes up sometimes. You guys will call and say, hey, I can't see that we've been audited in a while. Let's say years. I've had that question come up. When are you guys coming to do an audit? Remember that you are part of the county and you were audited as part of the county, and the counties are typically audited annually. There are a few that go more than 1 year, especially if they don't have a lot of federal money. So you are part of that report. You will never see an audit report that just says for the recorders, okay? You're included in the county's audit report. If you pull up the supplemental report, which is where we have any findings and stuff like that, those are separated by office. So if you kind of go in there, you might see the auditor's office, commissioners, clerk, sheriff, you could see any of the departments, and you don't see the recorders, doesn't mean that we didn't look at your stuff. It means that you didn't have a reportable finding, which is a good thing. Not a bad thing. So I think sometimes there's a misconception that if you're not in there, then you weren't audited. Okay, but you were in there, you know, you were part of the county audit. We always, your perpetuation fund that's on the auditor's ledger is looked at all the time. We look at it with all the other funds. Okay, so we just may not come into your office and look at your bank reconcilements and things like that. I'm doing really good on time. Okay. I don't know if any of you know our contact information, but we thought we'd put it up here on the slide in case that you would like it. You know, we always try and tell everybody to email the county's email box. I always try and, you know, really kind of reinforce this because Lori and I sometimes, not often, in fact, we were talking about this morning, not often enough, take vacation. You know, sometimes we're gone and we try. And in fact, my husband and I had a whole conversation yesterday about me taking some time off. He said, "You don't take off enough." And I said, "I can't. That would leave Lori alone." But even when I'm on vacation, I do try and check my emails just to make sure I'm not missing anything. But, you know, it's not real fun to be on vacation checking your work emails. So we always suggest everybody go to the county's box if you possibly can. That allows, if I'm on vacation, it allows Lori to answer those emails in a timely manner. We always answer the county's email box first. We try and keep that one completely up to date, and then we come back to our personal one. And it's the same thing with her. If she goes on vacation and you're emailing her, I have no idea that you emailed her. But if you go to the county's box, we both have access to that to try and keep that as up to date as possible. Okay. Do you guys have any other questions? No? Okay. I will tell you, Lori and I are still working primarily remotely from our houses. So if you've done any video calls with us, you'll see our little office areas. We do come to the office now and again, but we are just working primarily from home right now. I think that's how it's going to be for the near future. We don't know what it'll look like as we go further, but that's just kind of where we are. So, okay.